Hey guys, I'm back again with another video for you guys on this sunny Saturday. It is almost spring. Actually, tonight is spring forward. We set our clocks ahead, so that's exciting. That it is going to be daylight later in the day. Yes, it'll be dark in the morning when we get up, but it'll be later. It'll be later in the day. So that's exciting that it won't be so dark so early when you get home from work and things like that. I wanted to bring this next video to you guys. Several of you reached out to me about the foods that I eat. When I go to a friend's house, how do I handle that? How do I handle going out to eat? Things like that. So today I have plenty of food that I've brought out to show you what I eat and what I have throughout the day. So the biggest thing is I start off my day usually with eggs and bacon and sausage, things like that. A lot of times I'll make, the night before, I'll make a spinach, mushrooms, onions, peppers, omelet, or you could do some ham in your scrambled eggs, or you could just do scrambled eggs, or you could do any kind of eggs are really good for breakfast. I usually, like I said, add spinach, mushrooms, sauteed onions and peppers, and cheese, and then I just take it to work the next morning and heat it up when I get there, or you could eat before you leave. I don't really do that, and I have time to eat breakfast when I get to work, so I usually do that. Or you can just grab a couple pieces of sausage, or maybe some bacon. Those are some great things to start off your day. You could also do maybe lunch meat or some cheese, things like that to start off your day. Lunch then it varies. I usually take leftovers from the night before for dinner, or I'll make something to take it along. Sometimes I'll have a sandwich with a wrap, or like an unbreaded sandwich. I'll wrap it with lettuce, or I might do like a double cheeseburger with no bun and some bacon and some veggies on the side, things like that. Dinner then again is what I prepare for my family. I just make it work for what I'm making. So the other night I made a spinach artichoke chicken. It was really, really good. Everybody in my family loved it. It was a new recipe, but it was basically spinach artichoke dip on top of chicken baked in the oven. Not very hard. Like I said, didn't really have to adapt that recipe for keto because it was already keto-fied, or it was already pretty much keto friendly. Also this week I made a smothered chicken, which was sauteed onions and peppers and mushrooms. I cooked my chicken in a pan with a little bit of olive oil, and then I put the onions and peppers and mushrooms on top once it was cooked, and then I put a piece of bacon on top, and then I put cheese on top, and I let that melt together. So yummy. Never would have thought that it was a diet food, because it really isn't. The flavors are amazing. And then I made cauliflower mash on the side. I have green beans a lot. I had green beans several times this week. I had broccoli several times this week as a side. Salad is always a good thing to have as a side as well. Hopefully you like salad. I love salad. And honestly, before when I've done like low carb diets and stuff, I've gotten tired of salads, but this time it hasn't happened because I can have a lot more variety of food that I eat, and the things that I'm eating, things are definitely, I don't mind the salads. So let's take a look at some foods I have. Here's some cheese sticks that I found at Shady Maple this week, which is our local grocery store. It is Gouda and Parmesan. They're just cheese sticks. Super yummy, super good. There's no carbs in this, no sugar, so I can eat this whole thing. Don't have to worry about any carbs there. So that's a great option for a snack to eat. Here is sugar-free Jell-O. Like I said the other day, I had this and thought it was had sugar in it. Actually checked the packaging. This also has 0 carbs. So those are good things to eat. Here's something I eat. Sometimes I pull these out for breakfast because they're easy to pop and go. These are almonds. Now remember what I said about taking the carbs minus the thing. Now obviously this is backwards for you, but if you see the total carbs here is 6 grams, and then dietary fiber is 3. So I would subtract that from that. So I would get 3 carbs per quarter cup, which when you think about it, really isn't that bad. And I get 6 grams of protein in here. So that's good too, because even though it's nuts, it satisfies that sweet and salty, or the salty craving that I really, really like, and the crunch. And like I said, I think a quarter cup is pretty many that you can eat. And I kind of just take a couple at a time, eat them, and then go back for more later. But just make sure you're watching your serving size on these. But they're a great option, and they're high in fat, but they're high in good fats. So that's a great option to eat. Here's something that a lot of people eat that are on keto. I have personally not found a liking to these, but pork rinds is something that people people eat. And these are 0 carbs, 8 grams of protein. It's fried pig skin. I eat them every now and then, but usually I can't stomach them. These are actually, I bought a couple months ago and they're still in my cupboard unopened. So anyway, these are something that I get at Costco, Parmesan whisks. These are amazing to use as croutons in your salads because they're cheesy. Now, some people eat them as chips with like guacamole or salsa or something like that. I find that if I eat too many of them, they're super duper cheesy. So they can be kind of strong, but every now and then if I just want something crunchy, I might take like 2 or 3 and go that way. But these are 1 carb, no dietary fibers, so they are 1 carb for 23 crisps. So that's pretty many. If you're putting them on your salad, you know, that's like a half a carb because you don't really put that many on your salad. Plus, then you don't have to add extra cheese. I know they have other flavors of these. Costco only carries the Parmesan, but I know they have them in pepper jack and things like that at Walmart. So, but I've not looked for them there. So that's another snack that I eat. Here is something that I put in my coffee for coffee creamer. This is Premier Protein. It is 30 grams of protein for the whole thing. Now, I don't use obviously the whole thing for your coffee. You could if you want to, but then you're gonna have cold coffee because if you add this in, you get my point. This is 5 carbs, 2 carbs of dietary fiber. So it's 3 carbs for the whole container. Now, I use about 1/3 of this for my coffee. So that's about 1 carb in my coffee, which is an excellent better choice than using coffee creamer, which first of all has sugar. This has 1 added sugar, but that's not so bad as my coffee creamer has 6 added sugars and 6 carbs. So plus I can't have as much because it's only 2 tablespoons. So those are just some things that I use. Like I said, I use this as my coffee creamer. They have all different flavors. They have strawberries and cream, chocolate, vanilla. This is obviously the caramel. I've not tried any of the other flavors. I know they just came out with the peaches and cream people have been talking about on the keto sites, and they also came out with an Oreo cookies and cream as well. Like I said, I haven't tried any of them. I am gonna get the chocolate next time I go to Costco. I'm gonna pick these up. They have these at Costco as well. They're kind of expensive, but they last you a while, especially if you're not drinking 1 a day. You could use this as a meal replacement, but because they taste good. It's like a shake, but I personally prefer to put them in my coffee because I like to eat my dinner or my food and my calories, not necessarily drink them. So that's another thing that I use. Here's some of the sweeteners that I use. I bought this at the store this week. This is, now I talked about Splenda and saying how Splenda was not necessarily great for you. The sucralose in that isn't so great and it can be, it can stall you. This is Splenda Naturals with sweetness from stevia. If you look here, and I talked about this before too, it says the total carbs are 2 and then the erythritol is 2 grams. So that means because erythritol counts as 0, they cancel each other out. So this actually, you could use a whole packet of this and get no carbs for that. And pretty much one of these packaged, I think is sweeter than Splenda. So I can use one of these in my coffee if I need to, or like if I'm just gonna use heavy whipping cream in my coffee, I'll use a packet of this instead of Splenda or whatever. And this I think sweetens better. So this is an option. You can get this at, I got this at Target, but Walmart has it. Shady Maple had it when I was there the other day. I'm sure any major grocery stores will have this as well. I also got this one this week to make, because when I make my fat bombs, it calls for sweetener, and to empty those little packets is kind of a pain, where this I can just measure out. This I got at Shady Maple as well, but I'm sure this is just their brand, but it's stevia sweetener. So it's 0 carbs again, because it is 3 carbs, but it's all erythritol. So there again, I use that in my fat bombs. Several of you asked me what fat bombs are. Fat bombs are a great way for you to get something sweet, and because a lot of times that's what you're craving right when you start. Sugar, it takes about 4 or 5 days to get the sugar out of your system. Once the sugars are out of your system, you don't crave them as much, but this is something that you can use to use in the meantime. So fat bombs, I make one that I use 8 ounces of cream cheese. So I just take a block of cream cheese like this. Whoops, sorry, that's upside down. A block of cream cheese like this, which is 2 carbs for a container, or for, I'm sorry, not a container. 2 carbs per 1 ounce. So there's 8 ounces in this. So I take 8 ounces of cream cheese. I take a stick of butter, half a cup of the natural peanut butter, which I said before is just peanuts and salt. Someone asked me where I can get those. Smucker's makes a natural peanut butter. I I know Shady Maple, Yoder's, all of them. These are local stores to me. They have in their bulk sections and things like that, homemade peanut butter. I was also at Stall's Foods Meats, which is in Intercourse here in Pennsylvania. Again, that also has natural peanut butter. So a lot of places you can get it in a bulk. It usually comes in one of the clear plastic containers that you can get. Usually it has oil on the top. You have to stir it all together and use that. So that's the peanut butter I'm talking about. Like I said, you can find that anywhere. It's different prices depending where you get it at. Shady Maple is cheaper than Yoder's, just for those of you who are looking. And it tastes better, in my opinion, their natural peanut butter. But you have to make sure it's the natural peanut butter. They have, at Shady Maple, they had like a mocha and they had different flavors. Those had sugars in them. So you have to look at the ingredients to see what's in them to make sure that they don't have added sugars, that it's just peanuts and salt. That's it. And that's another thing that you're looking at when you're looking at your ingredients. Make sure that the less it has, the better. So this one has pasteurized milk and cream, cheese culture, salt, and then it has carabine or xanthan gum or whatever that is. But it has 1, 2, 3, 4 ingredients. Perfect. When you pick up something and it has 17,000 ingredients, those aren't good. You want everything to be as less processed or least processed as possible. They're going to be better for you, even if that means making them. Now, I don't make my own mayo, but I found Duke's Mayo, which is my favorite. Duke's Mayo has 0 carbs, 0 sugars in it. So that's a great mayo if you want mayo, which there again, you can have mayo on this diet, which you would think is so bad for you. You've always been told, oh my goodness, it's so bad for you because it's so high in fat. Nope, it's okay. It's great. So anyway, back to my fat bomb. Sorry, I got a little sidetracked. 8 ounces cream cheese, stick of butter, half cup of peanut butter, and sweetener. There again, I don't put all the sweetener it calls for because I don't feel that it needs it. But then then you're supposed to mix it all together in a mixer or a blender or not a blender, mixer. I use my KitchenAid stand mixer, but you could probably just use a hand mixer if you have one of those. I wouldn't mix it by hand because it probably wouldn't blend as well together, but that's all you have. It will be fine. Then you take a cookie scoop. Pampered Chef makes them. A lot of places have the cookie scoops, and you take them and you put them out on a cookie tray on parchment paper and put them in the fridge. And then when they get hard, you can put them in a container and save them for later. I just personally stick them in a little pint container and then just take like a spoonful at a time. But here's the thing. You can also overeat on those because you're wanting sugars. And so the biggest key is making sure you're getting like 8 servings out of it because there's 8 servings in this. So making sure you're not getting too many carbs in it because you're overindulging. Don't eat the whole thing at one time. Just eating a spoonful at a time or whatever. If it's easier for portion control for you to make, to use a cookie scoop and make them out, that's fine. I'm okay with portion control with them, so I just do them that way. But there are tons of other fat bomb recipes. There's a lemon one I want to try. There's a strawberry one. I think it'll be good for summer when the strawberries are in season. That one's okay to make. I think it has strawberries and cream cheese in it. And there again, you put them in the fridge, let them harden, and then you can eat them. So it's a good way for you to get higher fat in and have a little bit of sweeten in them. Now here's the thing. A friend of mine asked me the other day, she's like, how do you get past the sweet cravings? Here's something that I did when I first started. Now, if you're super duper strict keto, this would not be recommended, but I use it because it worked for me. So you know the whipped cream in the spray can? Yeah, the good stuff that you can just like squirt in your mouth? Perfect. Don't use Cool Whip. That won't work. That has added sugars and added crap in it. But the whipped cream in a can, take a squirt of that and put it in your mouth and eat it that way, or put some on a spoon or whatever. If that's how you're going to get through the sugar cravings, that's not a bad option to do. Yes, it has added sugars, but it's only 1 carb, and so it's a good option because it has heavy cream in it. They do have a sugar-free spray can, but I can't find it anywhere, and I don't know. I don't think it's that bad to do it that way.